Hello, everyone. My name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm very honored to mentor you on the internet. In this session, I'm going to introduce you Secure Shell. Secure Shell is a great software. It has been used for many years, since 1995 and on, when the internet became a giant kind of service through our companies, universities, everything. Everybody's using internet all the time, and then connecting to servers, connecting peers to peers, and then using some SSH connection is always secure and safe, in opposed to the old days that when TCP/IP package were providing something like telnet or copy, SCP, all of those ones were in clear text. They were not secure. And then also you had FTP, file transfer protocol. FTP was also in clear text that was not safe. They introduced secure FTP, which was much safer, like similar to Secure Shell. And Secure Shell is one of the greatest software that you can trust between a client and a server. Everything that you work on the internet, all those file transfer that are happening, they are going through TCP/IP packets, and then the connections or connectionless or connection-oriented packages that are happening are not connectionless. The connectionless is UDP, and TCP/IP is connection-oriented, means authentication is required. And once the session is trusted, then you can send files and receive files between the client and the server. And then sometimes you can do it peer-to-peer. So in this session, I'm going to introduce you the Secure Shell, which is a great software again. And I'm going to explain the Secure Shell Daemon, which is the server side of the process that is running as a daemon that is listening on port 22. And then the two client software, which could also be installed on both server side as well as client side. The server side has to be running Secure Shell daemon. By default is listening to port 22. And then the client side software is looking at port 22 through a Secure Shell for SSH. It opens a Secure Shell, and then the SCP is secure copy. This is similar to FTP or a secure FTP, that once you connect, you can send to the client side or you can receive from the server side. So the SCP could be both ways you can do it. But all of these two clients are working through port 22 by default, but I'll show you the details of it once we get to the configuration. So let me go through a slideshow first, and this one slide view, I'm going to show you that we have a Secure Shell daemon, which is the listener for the Secure Shell software that is listening on port 22. And all the ports are configured on etc services on the default on the Linux side and Unix side. And then on Windows, also there's a different configuration files, but it is the path is etc says 32 drivers etc directory, and then the host file has those configuration as well as the name of the host and IP address, everything. I'll show you all that detail as well on both Linux and a shell of Windows. So, and the Secure Shell client is this software, and then is copy. So without further ado, let me just introduce you to my website, and then you're welcome to subscribe and watch these videos. But like I said, without further ado, I'm going to actually take you to a Linux server that I've already configured. In order to just make sure that your configuration is working, you have to first on the web server of the, on the virtual machine, in this case that I'm configuring a virtual machine, you have to make sure that your network is bridge adapter. So that way, that bridge adapter, if it is not, you're not going to be able to do it because you don't get an IP address assigned to it, to the host. In order to just get a IP address, you have to do a bridge configuration. So by just going into the show here and then log into this virtual machine as myself, there's a number of things that you have to do on the server side. Let me log in correctly first. And then right here, you can see I'm going to do a host name here. So that host name is MyWebUniversity. And then this is on this VM, I configure it to have this host name, MyWebUniversity. And then I'm going to just say, this time is, let's go an IP address of this machine. So IP-A would give me all the detail, but I'm interested on the IP address of it. I could also do fconfig -A and get all the interface. I could also get fconfig enp0s3. And notice that, let me just type in the fconfig here, and then fconfig enp0s3. That's the interface name that I want to get. And as you can see, the IP address is 190 here. That is on the local LAN that I have, 192.168.254. So if I do a netstat -an, you can see all of them, but netstat -rn is going to show me my gateway, and then that's the gateway. But I'm on 190 subnet as I showed you. You can also do the fconfig here with grep -i inet. So then you could see that there's 190 is this, and then if I just do head -1, the first one, and then just say awk print $2, then I get exactly the IP address of my host name, which is this. And I can also say ns lookup, name server lookup, MyWebUniversity. MyWebUniversity on the host is already pointing to that IP address here. So I know that this is my host name. I can also do a ping to MyWebUniversity, and that would also connect it to IP address of 190 for the local host. The local host 127 is because of the host here that is just configure, say, connect to localhost there. But MyWebUniversity is actually either you can get into 127.0.0.1, which is the local host, or MyWebUniversity. So how do I know that SSHD is up and running? There's a command called systemctl. You go status on SSHD. That is SSHD is running. You can see that active and running. So if I just know the process ID of it is 994, I can also look at the lsof command. But the lsof command, if you run it, lsof command without root access, it will just tell you this. But all it is just saying that permission denied. So you run this one with sudo command in front of it, type in the sudo password, the switch user do, so it runs as root. And now you get all the processes for that SSHD with main process of 994. And if there's any connection established, it will show you. I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger. That way you see everything that I want you to see at one shot. And then I go here, clear screen, and then I do, I'm going to become root first, so I don't have to type in sudo every time. Now I'm on root as this one. I'm gonna just say that ID-UN, it shows that I'm root and host name is MyWebUniversity. Echo $PS1 is basically saying that whatever is the user, it shows that user here, and add a host name, which is this one, and then tilde is the current working directory where I am, and then the pound sign there. So that is all good. I'm going to say now systemctl status SSHD showed me that it was active and running. So there's some key exchange connected, and that error is going to be gone. So I'm going to just say systemctl restore the SSHD, and I just restored it. Now, if I just run the same command again with the status, you see it is clean now. There's no error, nothing, and then the process ID that it came out, the main process ID is now different. And then now I'm going to show you what some more. So the systemctl, you can also do a show here for SSHD and see all the connections and every, and like the main process ID of it and all the details of the directives that are defined in SSHD. You can see all of them here when you do a systemctl show. So the service is called sshd.service. So I can also do a cat command here, cat, and then just look at the service that is all the configuration that are here, like SSHD. You can see that it is configured properly, and then if it has to reload, what process is going to just kill -app main process, and the main process ID I showed you earlier, that was that process ID of 55 something. So how do I know that one? I can also do something like lsof -I for interface, and then I could say show me process ID of 22. Port, I mean, all the port 22, -I:22 means show me all the processes that are listening on port 22. And then this is a SSHD that it says there's two processes, both of them are main process of 5530. And then if I want more detail of that process there, lsof -p 5530 will just give me a lot more. So I type in more here, and you can see that all the lep and user and the connection that are happening at the same time. These two processes are there. I haven't made any connection, so there's no connection established to SSH yet, but I will show you that one next. So if I want to just say, how do I know that it is listening to port 22? There's a file called etc services here, and then if I just look up for -w22, -w meaning the word services here, then it says that okay, SSH is listening port 22 through TCP package, and that is port 22. If I do anything with SSH here, I could get the same information here, -w here also. And then since it's TCP, that means TCP/IP or connection oriented. The connection will be through authentication. It requires a username and password, or if you're on a two-factor authentication, it requires a two-factor authentication to connect to the system. And then once you're logged on to the system, then the data that you connected, it will always be encrypted between the client and the server. So that way, a person in the middle, like somebody is sniffing through your network, cannot steal any your privacy, kind of like authentication, password, some kind of data, the payload that you're sending and receiving. They cannot read the data because everything is through secure port, and then through this. The file, there's also etc SSH file directory. Inside here, you have two directories. One is called two files. One is called SSHD_config, and then that one, this one is the client, SSH_config, and then the other one is SSHD with Daemon _config, which is the server side. So everything that you configure on the secure shell SSHD_config, this file all has all the information, and that it says that I'm going to listen to port 22 through this, and then all the connection that you do. If you have to enable like X forwarding, it's all of these options are here for some kind of X window session, and everything that you do, whether you log in as root or not, some other connection, all of that options and the directives are here. The strong key versus the weak key of the encryption are also available for you. So you have to make sure that you have the strongest key to make sure your system is protected. Otherwise, if you have some kind of weak cipher keys, then it's going to be vulnerable. So you have to patch it correctly there. The other file is SSH_config, which is the client side. So when I connect from this machine to another machine, it is using the SSH file here. Also, in addition to this one, if I just open a new terminal here and I say ID-UN, now I'm a regular user. But if I say PS-EFA and then say grep-I SSH, you see that there's no established connection. All it says is SSHD is listening to the server. So if I just search for this, the whole SSHD is highlighted in red because my grep command was there. And then if I just want to say, don't show me my own grep, I could do grep -v, -v lowercase, and then grep out my own grep. Now I only see the process that is a listener that is listening on this port. And notice the parent process of that one is init one, which is system D. So if I say top -p1, then you will see the system D process that is listening here. And that's the main process, the parent process of all the other sub-processes that are for. So at this time, I'm going to make a connection to this machine. I can make a connection from this machine itself because when I do this one, I'm using the SSH_config from client side. So I say SSH, and the syntax is you give a username that exists on the host name that you want to do, and the host name is MyWebUniversity. So it's going to prompt me first time, say that you want to just accept this fingerprint, and I say yes, because this .ssh on my known host file is going to add an entry for the MyWebUniversity. So if I just say yes here, and then it's going to prompt me for password, I log in with password, and now I'm connected to that machine, to this host that I just logged in. Sorry, host name, and it's MyWebUniversity. And now if I say PS-EF grep-I SSHD and grep-v grep, same command that I did earlier, now you see that Wahid is logged on at this TTYS terminal 3. So if I just say, okay, that's great, but on having this root here, and then I'm gonna just say cd to let's say the slash directory, cd to root directory here, clear screen, and then I say ps-ef grep-i SSHD, and then grep-i-v again grep. So this shows me that I'm connected. But what about if I just want to say find out this process ID that it got connected here? I can also do lsof -p for this process ID 5577, and then that one is all the connection that is coming from user ID Wahid and there, and then all the library on the SSHD that does the encryption, everything is showing here as well. So that is the detail of that process here. And then at the same time, if I say let's look at this one more time. This other one, P56. So I'm gonna do this number this time and say ps lsof list of open file -p 5656. I believe that is the number. It's hard to read. Yeah, that one is also there. And notice that it shows that it's connected from MyWebUniversity at MyWebUniversity to localhost through this port 59380, and it says established. And so you can find out what connections are established and what connections are not. And you can also do lsof -i:22. Notice that this time, since I logged on with that one, it tells me that Wahid is logged on here. This is the user ID Wahid at localhost, and it is connecting there. Now I'm gonna try to secure SSH to this one from a Windows machine. So I go here. Let me just show you on my host machine, which is Windows 11. I'm going to open a command prompt, and this command prompt tells me that I'm running a Windows 11, which is system info pipe find the string /i and then OS name. You will see that it is Windows 11. The build version is 10. So here the name of the machine is algorithm, and then it's Microsoft Windows 11. So if I say host name here, you can see that this machine is algorithm. So if I say ns lookup algorithm, this one is going to give me an IP address on the DNS, which is the host name is. Let me just see, make sure that I didn't type in inaccurately. Host name algorithm. Yeah, so if you type in the host name correctly, basically it is saying that you have an IP address of 179. But if I do host name from this machine for MyWebUniversity, not .com. The .com is on DNS and on the internet, and that's my main server. If I just do .com, it's that one. So depending on what you're running on that service, then you can connect to that one as well. I remotely log into that as well. But here I'm going to show you at MyWebUniversity at home, which is this 190 here. So what I do here, if I just clear a screen and then say on the Linux, you do fconfig. On Windows, you do ipconfig, and then you can get the IP address information here. So you can see that this is coming with IP address of 179 also. You can also do this one with /all to get all the details here. But I showed you that it is, this one was 179, and I want to connect to MyWebUniversity. So I can do two ways. I can do SSH here, -l w Wahid, my user ID name, and then MyWebUniversity. MyWebUniversity is the host 190. Now it's going to prompt me to password, and I'm going to type in the password. And then you can see it is connecting right now. So I go host name here, and then I say df-h, clear the screen, uname -a, I'm on a Linux Ubuntu, cat etc/os-release. I'm connected there. So as you can see here, I'm connected through that one. I'm gonna type in exit here, and then now clear a screen here. This command you can type in with -l, or you could just say Wahid add host name. That would do the same thing. So this is also, if I type in uname-a, cat etc/os-release, I could get the same information that I'm on that machine. And then if I run the commands, now I'm on there. So at this time, I'm going to show you a few more things. So let's just exit out of this one more time. And then this time I'm going to, instead of host name, MyWebUniversity, you could also do 192.168.254.190. If you have the IP address, you can connect it through the IP address also. So, but this DNS name is much easier, and then yeah, I'm still connected to MyWebUniversity, and then etc OS-release is showing you the same thing. So that is a few ways that you can connect. Another thing that you could do is you could troubleshoot whether you type in this syntax or that syntax, whatever you do. Notice that if I just do this and I say -vv, very, very verbose, then you could just get all the keys information that are saying that it is on C:\user, there's a directory called .ssh. This dot on Unix and Linux, there's hidden files. This directory will not show on the ls-l unless you do ls-la. But on Windows, you can cd to the .sh, and you can see all the key generation that was done, or say in DSA, all of that one are available to you, that you could say that. When you are just doing it based on your keys, whether you use RSA or DSA, make sure that you're using the RSA, the later list one, because they're more secure in that way, stronger ciphers and everything. So if I just type mistype password, notice it is saying that, okay, the password is inaccurate, permission denied. But if I type in my password correctly, the fact that you're doing -vvv, it is putting you in debug mode. For every line that it connects, it tells you what is exactly happening. But you could just log in, and it's the password is not going to be in clear text. So don't worry about that one. It's safe to do sometime in debug mode to troubleshoot what the problem is, whether you're typing the password inaccurately or something. So this is secure shell. Now I just logged in again, and I showed you the verbose option, everything. I'm going to show you the scopy as well. So now, since I'm here, notice that if I just go on this directory, I have programs here. And let's say this is the directory, and I want to just go to Python directory, for example. So the Python directory, there's a number of Python script here, clear screen, ls-l start.py, and then this is the path. So I'm going to open another command prompt. I'm going to say cmd, and notice that this command prompt here that is connected, and then this one I'm going to use the scopy client. So if you remember, the SSH by itself comes with Windows. When you type in SSH, it tells you that this is the usage. You need a username and host name to secure shell. And these other parameters, some of them, I showed you, some of them you can investigate further. There's not too many of these commands that you could just configure it differently. By default, these files are there. And then on the top of that one, there's a .ssh here that I showed you here. So this file known_host, every time you SSH, the host name will be added based on the information that you do. So if you just do a notepad known_host, and then, sorry, notepad, I just type in known known_hosts. So this one opens. Notice www.mywebuniversity.com is there. So if I just say search for find and a string, in this case I'm going to say MyWebUniversity, and you can see that it is a few times is used, and then you search it. Then the one without the .com is the one that I connect today. You can see this one has no .com, and this is the cipher key that was added. So all of these details are here on your client side for connection. If I just remove this file, delete everything here, I say yes, and then next time I switch to the machine, it will create that known host file again. Sometimes you upgrade your SSH client and the SSH daemon, then it's going to prompt you for that fingerprint or finger whatever key it was modified. And some people are panicking, saying, "Oh, why is it just to tell me that if I didn't do something like this? Is it not trusted? Don't trust it. Don't use it." Don't worry about those ones, because you did upgrade and then that known host file was not there. It wants to just create that known host file. So it is okay to trust it. As soon as you just upgrade your system, it knows that you upgraded this file. So that is one thing about the SSH that you should be aware. So the next thing is that let me log out here, and then I'm gonna just SSH again. Notice that it comes out the fingerprint information here again. So if I just say no here, don't trust it, and then it's say, did you mean no? I said, yeah, I meant don't trust it. So I'm gonna just take the --v out, and then do this. Notice that it's gonna say that it's gonna do you need to do it, because I removed the known host file. This time I'm gonna say yes, I do. So you get a smaller prompt in there rather than too many of them with the verbose. So now I'm logged on. Let's see if this file on the directory got created. See, it got created at 8:26, 11:59. This is almost end of Saturday night at Southern California, where I live. And so it's about midnight tonight. But the next command that I do here, that date/p, you could see also, it is already 8:26 actually. In 1 minute, it's going to be 27, August 27, Sunday. So this is just okay. Now, if I just do more on the known host file, notice there's only one entry, my SSH. There's no .com. So next time, if I just SSH to MyWebUniversity, the entry will be added here. But if I have an entry, the fingerprint will not be giving me as an option. It says, okay, I already know that you have it on known host file. I'm not going to check. And you can sometimes automate that process here between the two client and server if you have to send the files and make some cron jobs. But be careful with doing so. Sometimes you might just compromise your system by having a kind of loophole somewhere on your system left with the authentication being automated. Don't do those kind of things. It is not secure. Even if your password and everything is encrypted, you don't want to just hacker to use that as a program to connect to your machine. I never recommend those stuff. If you do it one time while you're doing it, just use the command. And now let me show you the scopy command here. So since I'm logged on here, and then I go to programs, and I go to Python, here I have this directory and clear screen here. On Unix, you type in clear, and then on Windows, CLS. So pwd here, ls-l, I have all these files. Let's say I want all the files that have the extension .py. So I do a word count on them, word count -l, and I say, well, I want all the Python from this directory to be downloaded on my Windows machine where I am here. So I'm gonna cd here, and then clear the screen. Here I'm gonna go to programs, and then I'm gonna go to Python. Let's see if I have the Python directory here. So I have all the files here already, some of them. I'm gonna make a directory called make_dir new. And then I could just show you the stuff, then I will delete it after. So here I just have a empty directory called clear screen, and then this, and then there's nothing there. But I want to just copy this one, right? So the command is copy. If you just type in by itself, it says is copy. You have to give it a -R for recursive, and then source, and then destination, and so on. So source and target, that's all I need. So I'm going to clear the screen here again, and then I say is copy, and then I need the username, Wahid, at the host name, MyWebUniversity. Then I put this colon, and I put the path where I want to copy from. So it is home Wahid programs, and it's case sensitive. Well, if you have an uppercase Python, you have to type uppercase Python. And then since I want all the star.py here, I'm gonna say star.py, and then this one I did not give it the extension of -R, meaning recursively, because if there was a subdirectory with the name, then I would have to do that one. But this one is all files with the .py, and then I'm gonna say at the destination, keep it the same name that is on the server side. That's what the dot is, means. So now I type in my password. And now I have downloaded everything here. How easy was that one, right? Directory, and then you can see directory star.py. And then if I want to get that less than W format, you can see all of them are here. 21 files. And right here is 21 files. So this is there. If I want the same thing with scopy of text files, I put this extension text. And then I just type in there. And now it's everything with .text. Directory star.text. And if I just say there are 10 of them, I could also say /W. You could see that there's 10 of them here. And now here, if I just say clear screen, pwd ls -l star.text, word count -l, it is 10 of them. And if I just do one word count of them, it's just these 10. Here, the same thing that is there, clear screen, clear screen, and there, clear screen, sorry, clear screen, and there is star.text. And you can see all the 10 files there. So here, if I do, like, for example, one of the file, let's say, store this, okay, and there's a file called mysys.py. So cat -n mysys.py, and then you can see that this is the program. If I want to just run that one, mysys.py, it's going to require an argument. So since I did not put enough argument, it says not enough argument. But if I say 10, 30, and 50, those 3 arguments is going to say you provided 3 argument that I was expecting. So I'm adding 10 plus 30, the first and second argument, and then the value is 40. And then here your first main name of the program was that, and this. Because Python is already on this machine, Python -- version, I'm already on the Linux machine running Python. So when I say on the program, clear screen, notice that cat -n, this one on the first line, shebang user ben env, Python is going to load it. But notice this program on Windows, now if I just go on Windows and say Python 3 -- version, it's also 3.10. However, the syntax of that program, if I do type mysys.py, just let me make this screen a little bit bigger so you could see the whole thing here. And now this one says user ben shebang env. That is not understood on Windows because there's no environment thing. So then that way I have to put the syntax of Python 3 or remove this line here. Remove this line and then just execute it as a regular Python with the Python output. So if I say Python 3 and then my sys.py, they give the same argument 30, 40, it's gonna just work. Because what it does, it says, okay, load the Python 3 interpreter and then execute this one with this argument. So taking the argument out, giving one, it says not enough argument. Giving two, it's not enough because it's less than 3. But if I just run the program itself, let's say my sys.py 10, 20, and 30, it may just say, well, you need to open it with either PyCharm or Python or just another interpreter, because the first line does not say the syntax of a Windows machine. It knows that a file that is a Python, then it's gonna say it is there. In order to correct that one, you could either just say always use Python 3, and then it will execute it and already did, or just run it like now, since I said identify, associate this file with Python extension, and then it's going to run now without any problem. I can run it from the command line itself. I can also say Python 3 here, and then say import sys, and then sys.path, and then sys.executable. So once I get the path of the executable, and instead of that shebang user ben env Python env and then Python, I could put this line on the first line and it will understand it and say that, okay, this is the Python interpreter that's going to load it, and it will work that way. But this course is not, I mean, this video is not about Python interpreter or anything. So I'm going to show you a little bit more with this copy. So let's see, I'm gonna say delete a new directory here, and then with including the subdirectories, all the files I want to say deleted. So now there's no new here, it is all empty, right? So I'm gonna just say, let's get the Python directory, everything with this copy that we did here, but instead of the is copy with the syntax of one line here, I'm gonna put -r here, -r here, and then I'm gonna say, since I have, let me just Control C out of it. I'm already on Python. I want to just create another Python directory somewhere here. So I'm gonna say make dir new, and then now directory new exists. Let's just make another directory, say make dir test1. So I'm gonna just, this test1 doesn't exist. Now inside here, I want to bring Python and all the subdirectory. So I do is copy -r recursive, and then I say Wahid at, I could put either the host name or the IP address. Our host name is much easier, so I say home Wahid programs and then Python. So now I say bring the entire thing with Python, all the subdirectories that are there as well. So if there's any subdirectory, notice it's how fast it is copying it. It is doing it already. So while this one is copying the Python subdirectories and files here, whatever number of files that is there, it will be done. So sometimes you can use this system for backing up your files also between a different machine. And sometimes you want to just, if the programs are portable, you could just port it to the other server side and then test it and validate it against on the other server. But here, notice that if I go back here and then log in again here, since I SSH to the machine and I'm doing as copy as well, I might see more processes that are saying connection established to that server side. So if I say run the same command here, ls-of, you see that it is more connections are coming. Some of them are Wahid from Windows, some of them are Wahid from Linux, and all the copy and SSH, all of them are coming here. And then if you do a grep -i, it's copy etc services You might not see anything, but usually if there is one, it will also show port 22. But if you don't see anything, that doesn't mean that this copy will not work as a client. And because which is copied is on Windows as well as on the Unix side. So if I just want to make a directory on /10 and say make a directory new, clear screen, pwd make their new, and then I want to just get from this same machine cd to new, and I want to just say scopy everything that is Python again. I'm just going to use that example since we know that path. Wahid at this again, MyWebUniversity. So from the client itself, I'm gonna get it from home, Wahid programs, and then Python. And let's just get from the shells directly. Shells, and then I'm gonna say, let's say from shells start.sh, and just from the main directory here, start.sh, and then I'm gonna say copy it here, and then I say yes, and then type in the password. Now I got all of it here, and then my current directory is this ls and then ls minus start.sh. You could see that it is everything here. So I'm gonna remove all of that. Say I don't need it, and I just removed it. So now I'm done with that. But I'm gonna show you another directory, user local, no, user home dot local ben. Sorry, let me just go cd first to, I'm gonna open at another terminal here. I'm gonna just say cd here, so cd dot local, and then cd to ben. So these are some of the script that I put for my binaries here that I could show you. For example, when you run welcome, the welcome here, it will run like welcome to MyWebUniversity 10 times with different colors. So on the other screen, I'm gonna do that one. Same thing with another file called piece here. So you can just see it's connecting to MyWebUniversity, thanking you in a piece to all. Let's go back here, and then this directory that I had was this. So on the new directory that I'm here, let's just go. One of them I was on that directory. So you don't have to be as root when you do a copy. I'm going to be just going to temp new here, and then since I made that new directory with root, if I do a copy on this one, this one is root. As this user, so let's say I go to new and I say is copy Wahid at MyWebUniversity.com / what was the path of this other one? It was home Wahid.local bin. So I'm gonna say here home Wahid.local bin start. And if I just try that one, the permissions are gonna be a problem because it says, well, sorry, I don't have it .com. I just have to do Wahid. And now it's gonna prompt me. So now it says permission denied. Why it does that one? Because I don't have the root access to write to this file. So if I say touch this, it's gonna say permission denied. ID-UN is that Wahid, and then the directory LD /new, that one was root owner. Notice that Wahid, other people, they have only read and execute permission, not writable. So that means I have to, if I say touch this file, I have to say sudo in front of it, sudo. And then I provide the password, then I can do it. and now the new file got created. Similarly, if I want to just do the scopy, so on this command, I could just say, since that permission of that directory is there, I'm going to try to do sudo, and then I type in the password. Because that directory is protected, this time it allowed me. So that's how you do through secure copy. Because it's secure, it's gonna say Wahid, the user, does not have write access to /tim. But sudo, what switch user do as root, you can do it. Or I could just go on the tim directory here and say sudo, or let's just run that. I'm going to remove it first. Sudo rm and then -rf new. So now I deleted that new directory. It's not there. But now I'm on here, and id-un is there. I'm going to make a directory called new here. But notice that /tim is a sticky file directory that allows whoever is the owner of that new directory, and that person can read and write to it. Read-write access for the owner and read-write access for group. But as root, you can write to any directory. So this one, now I'm Wahid, id-un, I could just do the cd to the new, and I could just do a copy, and then say Wahid at MyWebUniversity, and then :/home/Wahid/.local/bin *, and then bring it all here. And now I have the directories here. I can also say, well, let's test the same script called welcome here. I could say run it welcome here, and it does run it. When you do the dot here, say peace, it will just run it from the current directory. So I want to thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done, and then love and peace to you all. God bless you. Take care. Let me just go back here on the channel, and this is my channel. It is at youtube.com/MyWebUniversity. So when you go to the URL, https youtube.com/ the handle MyWebUniversity, it will just take you to this page, which is my main page.
Thank you for watching.
Okay. And I just thank you for watching, and say that if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. That's the homepage that is there. So
thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more information.
Take care.
That's our URL, which is http.
Have a good one, and God bless you all.
My Web University, and my Web University is my